Be honest with me for just a second. Have you been waking up lately feeling less like yourself as a man? The mornings where your body used to naturally respond, they don't happen as often anymore, do they? That quiet frustration you carry, not because you don't care, but because you're too proud to talk about it. Well, today we're going to talk about it, not in shame, but in strength. This might be one of the most important videos you'll watch this year. So, where are you watching from? And what time is it where you are right now? Drop it in the comments, because here at SeniorSpring Vitality, we see you. We value your time. And this space, it's about reclaiming your health, your vitality, and yes, your manhood. By the end of this video, you'll discover a simple every morning habit that's been shown to drastically improve your erections. Naturally. No drugs, no pressure. Just you, your body, and a decision to change. So make sure you stay until the end, because one of these steps might surprise you. And hey, if any part of this resonates, hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe. We're building a community of strong, informed men, and it starts with you. Before we go further, allow me to introduce myself properly. My name is Dr. James Carter. I specialize in bone health, circulation, and sexual vitality in men over 60. And I've spent the last 25 years walking with men who've quietly struggled with something they don't often say out loud: erections that fade, morning wood that never shows up, intimacy that feels more like stress than satisfaction. But you're not alone, you're not broken, and you're certainly not too far gone. You just need to return to what your body has been asking for, in the simplest ways possible. And that's exactly what I told Joe. One of my longtime patients, a 68-year-old retired mechanic with hands tougher than steel, but when it came to his own body, he felt powerless. He told me, "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore. Not in the mornings, not anytime." He wasn't depressed, he wasn't even sick. But he had slowly lost that spark, that natural morning signal that once made him feel alive and confident. Now Joe has tried everything. Pills, supplements, even those weird teas someone on Facebook promised would bring the fire back. But nothing really lasted. So I asked him one simple question. "Joe, what's the first thing you do when you wake up?" He looked at me confused. He said, "I don't know, Doc. You check the time, look at my phone?" I nodded. Then I told him something that changed his entire outlook. "Tomorrow morning, before you move a muscle, I want you to close your eyes, place one hand on your belly, and take 5 deep breaths. That's it. Just 5. But make them count." Joe looked at me like I'd asked him to fly to the moon. He chuckled and said, "Doc, breathing? That's your big secret?" And I smiled back and said, "Yes, but not just any breathing. I mean real, deep belly breathing, the kind your body used to do without you even thinking about it. You see, as we age, most of us start breathing shallow, quick, tight little breaths from the chest, especially when we're stressed, tired, or anxious. And when that happens, your oxygen levels drop, your blood vessels constrict, and your nervous system stays stuck in what we call the fight-or-flight mode. That's the same stress mode that shuts down digestion, lowers testosterone, and yes, blocks blood flow to the penis. Think about it. Your body isn't going to prioritize reproduction or pleasure if it thinks you're in danger. And shallow breathing tells the body, we're not safe. But those 5 deep breaths, they tell your system, hey, you're safe, you're home, you're alive. Now let the blood flow where it needs to go. It's called diaphragmatic breathing. And when done in the morning, it resets your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your brain and body that's responsible for healing, relaxing, and yes, natural erections. Because an erection isn't just about arousal, it's about circulation, smooth, steady blood flow that fills the tissue without interruption. Most men think their lack of performance is purely hormonal. But the truth? Hormones are only part of the story. Nerve signals, blood vessels, and mental relaxation all play major roles. That's why what I told Joe was simple. Take 5 slow, full breaths. In through the nose, belly rises, hold for a second, then out through the mouth. Slowly, gently, like you're letting your stress melt out with every exhale. He agreed, said he'd try it, though I could tell he wasn't convinced, but guess what? He came back 3 weeks later, and before he even sat down, he grinned like a kid who just discovered magic. "Doc, I don't know what's happening, but I woke up last week, and there it was, just like old times." He didn't take a pill. He didn't do anything complicated. He just gave his body permission to flow again, all through the power of breath. So tomorrow morning, before you even open your eyes, give yourself 60 seconds. 5 deep breaths. Not just for your lungs, but for your blood, your nerves, and your manhood. And if that one habit made a difference, wait until you hear what I told Joe next. Because the second thing I had him do might sound a little strange at first, but it gave his blood vessels an early morning boost that worked better than anything he'd tried before. The next morning routine I gave Joe came straight from the same playbook I use with my cardiovascular patients. And again, nothing fancy. No expensive powders or exotic herbs. Just a cup of warm water, fresh lemon juice, and a tiny pinch of cayenne pepper. That's it. When I first told him, Joe scrunched his face and said, "Doc, I'm not trying to burn my throat first thing in the morning." I laughed, and I said, "It's not about heat. It's about waking up your blood." You see, cayenne pepper contains a compound called capsaicin. This natural ingredient has been shown to dilate blood vessels, support healthy circulation, and even stimulate nitric oxide production. The very same pathway many prescription ED pills try to manipulate. So I told him, "Before you sip coffee, before you eat anything, drink this mix. Just a warm glass. Lemon, water, and cayenne. Let it sit in your system for 10 minutes. Then do whatever you want." He looked skeptical. But again, he trusted me. And about a month later, he told me, "Doc, it's wild. My morning feels different. I wake up sharper. And, let's just say, the wife noticed too." Now I want you to imagine this. You've just finished 5 deep breaths. You're relaxed. You're calm. Then you give your body a flush of hydration and heat that kicks your circulation into gear. That's 2 minutes of breathing and 1 cup of liquid. That's it. No prescriptions. No pressure. And here's the truth. Most men miss these basics. They chase complicated solutions without fixing the foundation. But erections are a whole body signal. And when the body is hydrated, oxygenated, and awake, that signal gets strong again. So tomorrow, after your breath work, I want you to try it. Just 1 glass, you'll feel the warmth almost instantly, not just in your chest, but slowly, lower. And if you think that sounds simple, the next habit is even easier. But it might just be the missing piece you've never considered. Because what most men forget is that your penis doesn't work alone. It depends on what's happening deep in your hips. Now this next one, it's one of the most overlooked habits I see in men over 60. And yet it could be the very thing standing between you and a healthy erection. I asked Joe, "When was the last time you stretched in the morning?" And like most men, he said, "Doc, I barely even stretch my arms when I wake up, let alone my hips." But here's the problem with that. Your pelvic region, the area around your hips, thighs, and lower back, is like the highway junction for your blood vessels, nerves, and muscle signals that all support sexual function. If it's tight, locked up, or stiff, that signal from your brain can't make it all the way to your penis, or if it does, it's weak, slow, and fades fast. Most people don't know this, but when you sit a lot, and let's be honest, most older men do, your hip flexors tighten up, and that tension compresses blood vessels and chokes off nerves that need to stay open and active. So I told Joe, before your morning shower, just take 3 minutes to do 2 stretches. First, the pelvic tilt. Lying on your back, knees bent, gently rock your hips forward and back. Second, single leg lifts. While lying down, raise one leg slowly, then the other. 10 reps each side. He looked at me and said, "Doc, I'm not trying to join a yoga class." And I laughed and said, "Good, because this isn't yoga. This is circulation therapy for men who want to stay men." After just 2 weeks of doing these stretches every morning, Joe said something that stuck with me. "Doc, it's not just my groin. My whole lower body feels awake again." And that's the truth. When you move your hips, you unlock blood flow. When you loosen tension, you make room for pleasure. The mistake most men make? They go straight from bed to standing, with tight hips, tight back, tight nerves, then wonder why their performance feels off. But your body doesn't work like a light switch. It needs a gentle warm-up. And no, you don't need gym shoes, you don't need a mat, you just need 3 minutes. In bed. Before the shower. Before the rush of the day. And here's a little bonus tip. Do it while listening to your breath. Let your body and your breathing connect. That's how we reclaim awareness of our bodies. And awareness leads to control. So now, you've got your breath. You've got your morning flush with lemon and cayenne, and you've got your hips opened and flowing. But what if I told you you could take things even further by doing nothing more than a splash of cold water in the right place? It's uncomfortable for a moment, but the reward it gives your circulation and your confidence can last all day. Now, I'll be honest with you. This next one is where most men hesitate. Cold water. Just the sound of it makes your muscles tense, doesn't it? I get it. It's not exactly the most comfortable idea to start your day with. But let me tell you what I've seen. Not once, not twice, but over and over in men who've reclaimed their performance naturally. Cold water applied directly to the lower body, even for just 30 seconds, does something remarkable. It causes your blood vessels to constrict instantly, and the moment you step out of that cold, they rebound and dilate wide open, pushing fresh, oxygen-rich blood throughout your system, including to the pelvic region. I told Joe, after your morning stretch, I want you to take your normal warm shower. But at the very end, I want you to do something bold. Turn the water cold, not freezing, just cold enough to make you say, whew. Then, for the last 30 seconds, aim that water at your lower abdomen, your inner thighs, and yet, around the groin. He paused, looked at me like I'd grown a second head. "Doc, that sounds like punishment, not a prescription." But I smiled and said, "It's not punishment, it's a wake-up call for your blood flow, your nervous system, and your hormones." You see, cold exposure has been studied for its benefits on everything from immune function to testosterone. But what do most people forget? It also trains your blood vessels to respond faster and stronger. Think of it like exercise for your circulation. And the reason I recommend focusing it on the lower body? Because that's where most of your major arteries and veins run. And when you stimulate that area, even briefly, you send a signal that it's time to activate, time to wake up, time to flow. Joe was hesitant at first, but he agreed to try. And a few days later, he called my office just to say, "Doc, it shocked me the first time, but I've been doing it for 5 days now, and I can't explain it, but I feel more charged." That's the word he used, charged. Not in a hyper-jittery way, but in a calm, confident, alive kind of way. Most men wake up their mind, but forget to wake up their body. And that little 30-second cold rinse, it tells your body, circulation is needed here. Send it. Now. No medication required. So if you're serious about recovery, if you truly want your body to return to its natural rhythm, don't skip this. It's uncomfortable, yes, but temporary discomfort can lead to lasting results. And now that your nerves are firing, your blood is moving, let's talk about what you say to yourself every morning, because whether you believe it or not, your body is always listening. And the words you speak, especially first thing in the morning, that might just be the key to reprogramming not only your health, but your confidence as a man. Now I know what you're thinking. "Doc, I came here to learn how to fix my erections, not to talk about feelings or positive talk." And listen, I get it. We're men. We fix things. We like facts, tools, action. But hear me out, because this last habit may be the most powerful one of them all. I told Joe this, and I'll tell you too. You cannot separate what your body does from what your mind believes. You see, every single morning your brain wakes up and sends out chemical signals based on what you think and feel. If you start your day with dread, tension, frustration, you flood your system with cortisol, the stress hormone. And cortisol? It's the enemy of testosterone. It squeezes your blood vessels, kills desire, disrupts your entire hormonal rhythm. But when you begin your morning with calm, focused, positive intent, you shift that chemistry completely. And that's not just psychology, it's biology. That's why I asked Joe to look in the mirror every morning and say just one sentence. I am healthy, I am powerful, I am restoring every part of me. Now I'll admit, he laughed. Doc, I'm not the affirmation type. And I told him, you don't have to believe it yet. You just have to say it and let your brain do the rest. Because what you repeat becomes what your brain accepts. And when your brain accepts a new identity, your body starts following. It might sound small, silly even. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you spoke life over your body? When was the last time you gave yourself permission to believe that healing, recovery, is still possible? You'd be amazed how many men silently carry shame, guilt, or grief about their bodies changing. They stop looking at themselves with pride, and slowly, they stop trying. But when Joe began doing this, even with doubt in his voice, something shifted. He said, Doc, I started to feel like my body was listening. Like I wasn't fighting it anymore. I was finally helping it. And that's what I want for you. To stop fighting your body like it's broken, and start supporting it like it's healing. So tomorrow morning, after your breath, your warm drink, your stretch, your cold rinse, I want you to look at yourself, just for a moment, and say, I am healthy, I am powerful, I am restoring every part of me. Because your body will hear you. And if you say it enough times, eventually, it will believe you. And when it does, something truly incredible begins to happen. So now, we've walked through 5 simple habits: breathing, hydration, movement, cold stimulation, and mental alignment. None of them require a prescription. All of them require consistency. And when done together, they send one clear message to your body. It's time to return. Now I want to speak to the part of you that doesn't say much anymore. The part that wonders, is this just how it's going to be now? The part that remembers who you used to be, strong, confident, capable, and in control of your body. And maybe lately that part feels far away, or worse, fading. I've sat across from men who looked tough as nails on the outside, but when the door closed and it was just the two of us, they said quietly, Doc, I feel embarrassed. I feel like I lost something. I don't feel like myself anymore. And brother, if that's you, if any of what I've said today hits somewhere deep and unspoken, then hear this clearly. You are not less of a man. You are not broken. You are in transition, and transitions are painful, yes. But they're also where healing begins. These changes you're experiencing, they're not a punishment. They're a signal. A whisper from your body saying, hey, I need help. Not shame, not silence, just help. And now you have that help. You have knowledge. You have tools. You have 5 habits that require no prescription, no permission. Just a little courage and a little consistency. Let's reframe this, shall we? Instead of seeing this as the beginning of decline, what if this is the beginning of a comeback? What if this is the moment you stop avoiding the mirror and start showing your body the respect it's been waiting for? You don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to start with breath, with movement, with a cup of water, with a cold splash, and with a few simple words that remind you of who you really are. And I promise you this, when you treat your body like it's worth fighting for, it fights back. You'll notice it first in small ways. The way you feel more grounded. The way your mornings feel less sluggish. The way confidence slowly returns to your voice, your posture, and yes, even your bedroom. You're not too old to change. You're not too late to improve. You're not alone in this journey. And no matter how far you think you've slipped and your body remembers the way back, It just needs you to lead it there. So let's bring it all together. This morning routine, this new ritual, isn't complicated, but it's powerful. And if you missed any of it, here's a quick recap. Habit number 1, deep diaphragmatic breathing. 5 slow breaths before you do anything else. Habit number 2, a warm glass of lemon water with a pinch of cayenne to wake up your blood and your liver. Habit number 3, a few minutes of gentle hip and pelvic stretching to open up the flow that matters most. Habit number 4, a 30-second cold rinse to the lower body to train your circulation to respond like it used to. Habit number 5, one spoken affirmation, not because it's magic, but because your body listens when you speak healing. That's it. 5 habits. No cost, no medications, no gimmicks. Just you, showing up for yourself each morning in quiet strength. Now I want to hear from you, because this space is more than just me talking. We're building a community here, a brotherhood. So tell me in the comments, which of these 5 habits are you going to try tomorrow morning? Or have you already tried any of these? What's your experience been like? Your story, even just a sentence, might encourage another man reading it. And if this video helped you feel a little more seen, a little more hopeful, don't keep it to yourself. Click that like button. Share it with a friend or family member who might need it. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Because here, on SeniorSpring Vitality, we talk about real things, on the things that matter when the world goes quiet and it's just you, your body, and your truth. We don't chase trends, we chase truth. And every week I'll be right here, as your guide, your coach, and your reminder that it's never too late to feel strong again. I'm Dr. James Carter. Take a deep breath, stand tall, and I'll see you in the next one.